Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this live or this replay finds you well and in excellent spirits. Happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of the weekly Astro Forecast live here in the Astro Room on YouTube. I am your host and your favorite astrologer, Mel of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. So if this is our first time meeting, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. All right. This channel is everything astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, or if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, my love. So this is the weekly astro forecast for the week of January 27th through February 2nd, 2025. All right. So I must say that it's been an interesting week, hasn't it? Especially with everything that's been going on, in the world with politics and all of that. Oh, there we go. So I'm experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties. I have a whole portion of my setup that isn't working, and it looks like what is working is very delayed. So please forgive me if things seem a little off today. All right. But anyway, it's been an interesting week. And I use the word interesting intentionally because we are in Aquarius season and things tend to be a little interesting during Aquarius season, right? So when we start off the year, right, we're in Capricorn season. Capricorn season is pretty predictable. Everyone's kind of in that new year, new me kind of energy, right? However, once we get to Aquarius season, I always find that things get a little interesting. Okay. It's like anything goes. And I feel like that is definitely the case right now. All right. Not only are we in Aquarius season, but this is our first of 20 Aquarius seasons where Pluto is in Aquarius. Okay. And so this is going to make for a very interesting 2 decades. All right. Like there's going to be a lot of intensity, a lot of upheaval that we are already seeing and we're already experiencing. And that is just going to ramp up and continue as the years go by. But I must say it has been an interesting week nonetheless. And this particular week is also going to be interesting. In terms of the highlights of the week, we have a new moon in the sign of Aquarius, which, if I must say, is a new moon that is going to be quite dramatic, I think, and is also going to be extremely, extremely transformative. All right. And I will get into all of that in a little bit as we make our way through tonight's broadcast, right? And also, we have the first of the outer planets changing directions. Okay, so for the last couple of months, most of the outer planets have been retrograde, right? Specifically Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, right? Even Mars has been retrograde since December. So there's been this energy of like slowing down, of like molasses going uphill, right? During the winter. It's been slow, been stagnant because a lot of this energy has been directed inward. But now, beginning this week, Uranus is going to go direct. And then coming in February, we're going to have some of the other outer planets going direct. So this is the week where I feel like we start to see a little momentum, where we start to see things kind of picking up. But what's interesting is that the way that these things are going to pick up, it's going to be a little jarring, a little surprising. It's going to be a little chaotic. Okay. And that's definitely part of the energy signature of Aquarius. So it's not anything out of the norm. However, given the current state of affairs and everyone's nerves kind of being rattled and a little unstable, this could be a week where we're feeling a little anxiety, where we're feeling this undercurrent of nervousness. Okay. The astrology definitely supports that and explains that. And I will get into all of that in tonight's broadcast. All right. So Before I get into all of the details, of course, housekeeping and announcements. So if you're joining me here on the live this evening, thank you so much for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate you. Say hi on your way into the chat, right? And hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell if you have not already. That is the best way to support the channel. It lets the algorithm know that you like this content, so it will push it out to other people who may enjoy it as well. Okay. And if you are watching this on the replay, I appreciate you just as much. And I hope that you get what you're looking for in this broadcast, whether it is enlightenment, confirmation, information, illumination, anything that you're looking for, I intend that you find it here. And so if that's the case, hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. All right. So now that things have gotten back to their regularly scheduled program, I highly suggest, if you haven't already, you should definitely schedule a natal chart reading. And specifically, my signature natal chart reading is called the Blueprint. It goes very much in depth into your natal chart, probably in a way that you may not be used to if you've had your natal chart read already, or if you're brand spanking new. This is going to give you all the pertinent information that you need. It is my signature service. It's amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm giving it. I'm saying that because that's the feedback I've gotten. So if you're interested, the link will be in the description box below and also tagged to this video. All right, next. My private online community called Cosmic Collective is now live. It is free and it is the best way to not only commune with other astrology enthusiasts, but learn some things, right? My workshop entitled Your Cosmic Self, an Intro to Your Natal Chart, is contained in this community. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other freebies and bonuses and lots of great things to come. I just launched this community earlier this month, I want to say on January 10th. All right. And so we're getting things going. And so if you're interested, definitely check it out. The link is in the description box below. All right. And then finally, I have changed the date to my upcoming workshop. Okay. It was supposed to be this Wednesday, but I have pushed it back to Thursday, February 6th. And so this workshop, entitled The Cosmic Key Manifesting Success in 2025, is the workshop that you need. I'll say that. Yeah, it's the workshop you need if you want to get your shit together. Between astrology, numerology, and sound therapy, I combine all of these in order to help facilitate a concrete plan for you to move into 2025. So whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you're someone who's looking to advance in your career, whether you're just someone who's looking to achieve success in any area of life this year, this is the workshop for you. It is chock full of information. And by the end of the workshop, not only will you have released energetic blocks because there will be a sound therapy session, but you will have a concrete plan for what you specifically need to do for you in order to succeed this year. All right. So the link is in the description box below. Definitely sign up sooner than later. And again, it is on Thursday, February 6th. All right. So that being the case, I believe that's all I have for y'all tonight in terms of announcements. So let's get into the week. But before we get into that, let's get into the theme for the week. And that is revolt. Okay. I love this. The energy of Aquarius is very, I don't want to say volatile. It's not necessarily volatile. It's more so sporadic and a little chaotic. Okay. Now, Aquarius is very much concerned with innovation, with invention, and with improvement, right? And the way that Aquarius works, being that it is ruled by Uranus. I mean, it's ruled by Saturn, but it's also ruled by Uranus as well. It's full of sudden changes. It's full of surprises. It's full of, I like to call Uranus energy like thunderbolt energy. It can literally just strike at a moment's notice. And so everything about Aquarius sort of requires you to be flexible, be able to pivot, and to relinquish control. All right. I also like to call Uranus the hand of God because the way that God works sometimes can be a little chaotic. And that's exactly how Aquarius energy is. And with the new moon in Aquarius, we've got Mercury in Aquarius. And Mercury will conjunct Pluto in Aquarius this week. We have a ton of Aquarius energy. And one of the hallmarks of Aquarius energy is revolution. It's rebellion, right? It's breaking away from the status quo. It's like, listen, whatever's been done in the past no longer serves us, right? When you think of inventions, you think of typically things that are futuristic, things that didn't exist at one time that now exist, right? And so that in itself is an act of revolution. That in itself is an act of rebellion. And so with the new moon happening in Aquarius this week, it's not just about planting new seeds and setting new intentions as every new moon is. It's this energy of revolution. It's this energy of, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I need to make a change. Okay. And I talk all about this in the video I just dropped yesterday, all on the new moon in Aquarius. The link will be in the description box below, so you can check it out if you haven't already. That will give you everything you need to know astrologically and otherwise about this new moon. But this is when we can seriously affect some change. Not only can we affect change, I think this is going to be one of those weeks where we're seeing a lot of change. I mean, if you were to just look at the news right now, there's a lot of change happening. Now, whether you label it as good or as bad, that's a different topic for a different day, right? But change is here. And the thing about change, especially when it comes to change under a new moon, is that you are the facilitator of that change. Now, Aquarius energy, like I said, it's ruled by Uranus. So there's this element of relinquishing control. So yes, you are the facilitator of that change, but always remember that you work in tandem with spirit. So that's a thing in and of itself. But long story short, I feel like this is a week where if there is a certain area of life where you are tired of how things have been, you want to experience something new, perhaps something exciting. Maybe you've been stuck in a certain routine that is boring or that's not getting you anywhere. I feel like this is going to be the new moon for you. I feel like this is going to be the time when you make a radical sort of change. But are you ready for that? Now, here's the thing. When you make radical change, chaos can ensue, right? Radical change, it's like upsetting the apple cart, right? And so one of the things I will say, which I actually didn't say in my video on the new moon in Aquarius, is that the desire for rebellion, the desire to revolt, the desire to want to have something new in a radical sort of way likely will upset the apple cart. And you kind of have to anticipate that and make the changes anyway, right? Especially wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart. This is the prime sort of area of life where you can make these radical changes. But like I said in my video that I dropped yesterday, I don't think the energy is just relegated to wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart. I think if you are stuck in any place in life, if you are experiencing a lot of stagnancy, if your back is against the wall, if you are, tired of how things have been, like I said, this is the new moon for you, and this is going to be the week to change. But what I like most about this is that, and when I say this, I mean this week and the energy of this week, is that Mercury is a major player this week, in that Mercury is making aspects to certain planets this week. Like if there was any sort of, just Mercury is making a lot of appearances, let's just say that. And, that has a lot to do with not only our mindset, but our ability to express ourselves, right? And our communication. And so those can change as well, right? And remember, or if you don't know, let me inform you. The first universal law is all is mind. The universe is mental. And so if you find that you are stuck in a rut, you're stuck in a routine that you feel like you can't get out of, this is the week where you can really shift your mindset. And not only that, because we have the ability to shift our mindset regardless of whatever's going on. But I feel like the way the astrology is set up this week is that I feel like there are going to be certain circumstances that facilitate that mindset shift. Not necessarily going to say it's going to make it easier for you to shift your mind, but there may be external circumstances that make you change your mind real quick, or that make you see things from a different perspective, almost effortlessly. So there's definitely something to be said about that. But either way, there is this undercurrent of radical energy right now. And if you're in the United States, you know that you feel it. With everything that's going on, people are looking to take drastic action on either side. And it's not just because of the state of affairs, it's indicative of the astrology as well. So if you're feeling a little anxious this week, if you're feeling like something's about to pop off, but you don't know what it is, it's not a matter of being fearful. It's a matter of harnessing that energy and saying, how can I use this energy to change? Right? Now, one of the things that's coming to mind right now is this idea of how people perceive change and how change can feel arduous, a lot of times feel slow, right? Especially if you're doing something that you have to commit to for a long time in order to see that change come about. But the way that Aquarius and specifically Uranus energy works is that the change is quick. It's quick and it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction to things. I spoke about in my video how like the energy of Uranus and, as expressed by Aquarius, it's like breaking free. It's like tearing through a wall, kicking the door down. It's so interesting because I was having dinner with my mom earlier and she randomly brought up Bastille Day in France, right? And how the prisoners essentially broke out of the jail. That is the energy of Uranus. Something that if you waited for the bureaucracy, if you waited for the red tape, it would take years, can literally take hours. But it's done in a very forceful and, again, knee-jerk kind of way. And that's the energy that we are working with. So when I talk about making changes with this new moon, it's not like your typical flavor. It's not like, oh, we're going to plant the seeds and then we're going to do this. No, this is like kicking the door down. This is like changing your mind at rapid speed. This is like pivoting in the blink of an eye. That's kind of the energy that we're dealing with. So I say all that to say, when it comes to the energy this week, as erratic as it may feel, it's really important for you to sort of be able to contain it and then transmute it. Because the thing with Uranus energy, it's like electricity, right? And so it sort of connotes this like external force that's electric, that's like shocking you. And of course, that's where knee-jerk reactions come from, right? There's an initial shock and you just react, just like when they test your reflexes at the doctor's office and your knee just goes up, right? As I don't want to say productive, as useful as that can be, especially if you've been stuck, you have to learn how to control it as well, because otherwise you'll be acting from this place of almost impulsivity, or you'll be acting from this space of impulse. I guess impulsivity and impulse would be the same thing, but you get what I mean, right? It's like that knee-jerk reaction can be useful. Like the image that I'm getting in my mind right now is that you have your car is stuck in the mud and you have like a truck that comes to pull it out. And the truck is tugging, and all of a sudden, pop, it's like the car just jolts out of the mud, right? That's kind of how this is going to feel. And again, while that can be useful if you've been stuck for a while, it could also be really erratic, especially if you don't know how to control it. So I guess another piece of advice is that you should take a breath before you make any decisions or take any actions based on any decisions that you've arrived at. Because these decisions may come from a place of shock. It may come from a place of surprise, of sudden change, which nothing wrong with that. But understand, or at least take a breath so that you can somewhat contemplate the consequences of those decisions and actions. Because what may feel good in the moment because you're like getting an electric shock may not work for you 6 months from now. So it's important to keep that in mind. And you kind of have to ride the roller coaster and go with the flow, even though it seems like this roller coaster is descending into hell, right? And even though it's chaotic, you have to embrace the chaos this week and harness that energy. You know, one of the things that I love to say is that chaos breeds creation. And creation is very much a part of the Aquarius energy signature because Aquarius is all about invention and innovation. Like I said before, something exists now that didn't exist before. Out of this chaos may come the necessity to create something new. That is sort of the best way to harness this energy. Don't let it fuck with you. Don't let it make your nervous system completely dysregulated. Don't let it take you all over the place. Harness it and say, how can I use this to create something new? I think that would be the best use of the energy. All right. So that's the theme for the week. So now let's get into the week and see exactly what it's looking like. All right. So for the week of January 27th, we start off with Mercury entering Aquarius. Then Mercury will sextile the North Node. We've got that new moon in Aquarius, along with Mercury conjunct Pluto. Then Uranus, one of the rulers of Aquarius, will be going direct in the sign of Taurus. The Sun will trine Jupiter, which is probably the saving grace of this week. And then Venus will conjunct Neptune, which is going to make things hella interesting as well. All right. So let's see what the moon is doing this week. All right. So clearly we know we have a new moon, but leading up to the new moon, we've got the moon in the waning crescent phase in Aquarius before it gets into the new moon phase in Aquarius. And then thereafter, for the rest of the week, the moon will be in the waxing crescent phase in Pisces and Aries. All right, so let's start off with today and see what we have. All right, so Mercury's in Aquarius and Mercury will sextile the North Node. All right, and let's see what this looks like on the chart. So you will see at the bottom right-hand portion of the chart, you will see Mercury at 0 degrees of Aquarius. All right, and Mercury will sextile the North Node. Okay. And so at the middle right-hand portion of the chart, you'll see the North Node, that horseshoe looking thing at 28 degrees of Pisces, which will form a sextile with Mercury. All right. So let's discuss. So Mercury in Aquarius, it pretty much reiterates everything that I said before, right? Mercury has to do with our thoughts, our ideas, and communication. It also represents our ability to express ourselves. So when Mercury is in Aquarius, it's like our brains are always wired to invent and innovate, right? But when Mercury is in Aquarius, it's like that's where the bulk of your mental activity lies. Right? This need to improve, this need to innovate, this need to do things better. Right? Aquarius is an air sign. Even though it's funny, I was scrolling through, I was either Instagram or Threads yesterday, and it was Threads, and someone said, how can Aquarius possibly be an air sign? It's called the water bearer. And I was like, yeah, that's like your entrance into astrology, right? Everyone's like, oh no, Aquarius, aqua. Aquarius is a water sign. It is not. It is an air sign. Okay. And so when you have Mercury in an air sign, it really accentuates our thoughts, our communication, and all of that stuff. And so Mercury in Aquarius gives you the ability to innovate, invent, and improve upon things. All right. So wherever Aquarius is in your natal chart, this is the area of life perhaps where you have a lot more communication right now. This could be where the bulk of your thoughts are, right? This could be indicative of how you are expressing yourself right now. But by and large, the other thing about Aquarius energy is that it is the sign of the collective. Okay. And so when Mercury is in Aquarius, this is the best time to engage with the collective. So if you're looking to make new friends, if you're looking to commune with like minded individuals, this is going to be the time for you. And shameless plug, if you're looking to commune with like minded individuals, then you'll definitely want to sign up for and become a member of Cosmic Collective. All right, link is in the description box below. But anyway, finding your tribe and engaging with people who either think the same thoughts or have the same ideologies is very much indicative of Aquarius energy. So, like I said, great time to make friends, great time to improve the area of life that Aquarius is with respect to your natal chart, or just make improvements in your life in general. Okay. And at the same time, Mercury is also going to sextile the North Node. And I love this because this indicates that we are becoming aware, or there are opportunities for us to become aware of where we're headed. Okay. Our North Node is our North Star, where we're headed. It's our destiny, for lack of a better term. And with Mercury sextile the North Node, it's like opportunities to be conscious of where we are going. Okay. And it might come in a very surprising sort of way. So, with this particular transit, whatever your intuition is telling you to do, I mean, you should always follow your intuition regardless of what's going on, right? But whatever your intuition is telling you to do, do it. Even if it seems weird, even if it seems out of the ordinary, this could clue you in. This could give you the opportunity to get on track to where you need to go. This is also a transit where you will want to be social. You will want to express yourself. You will want to talk to people. You never know who could assist you, who you could assist, who can help you improve upon something, who can help get you on the right track. Okay. So, listening to your intuition and being vocal and social are definitely going to help you at this time, because it will create opportunities to get you on the right track. Right. So, it's Monday. Now, let's talk about Tuesday. So, tomorrow, the moon will enter Aquarius, right? And it will be in the waning crescent phase. So let's see what this looks like on the chart. All right. And in that circle, you'll see the moon is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. All right. So this is the last sort of, I want to say hurrah, right? But right before the new moon, we have what's called the balsamic moon, or the dark moon. And this is like your last chance to get rid of shit. Okay. When the moon is waning, that's when we banish things. That's when we get rid of what we no longer need. And with the waning moon, the waning crescent moon being in Aquarius, this is like, you got to get your mind right. Especially when it comes to the collective, right? Like if you are finding that you are amongst people, or even you identify as part of a group whose ideals no longer resonate with you, or you just don't feel like you fit in anymore, this is going to be the time to remove yourself respectfully, of course, right? But if you're in a group and you don't fit in, like, you need to go. And this is going to be the time when you do that. It's also a great time to banish mental clutter, a good time to get your mind right. I would say adopt a new narrative, but this is more, when you have a waning moon in Aquarius, it's almost like deprogramming. Like figuring out, okay, what are my beliefs? What is this? What is that? If it no longer serves you, then let it go. And so that's what this moon is going to be good for. And this is important because by the time we get to, let's just go into it. By the time we get to Wednesday, and we have that new moon in Aquarius, along with Mercury conjunct Pluto, now you can plant seeds because you've removed some of that mental clutter. All right. So as you can see, new moon in Aquarius on Wednesday, as well as Mercury conjunct Pluto. Let's see what this looks like on the chart. So you will see in the circle, the sun and the moon are both at 9 degrees of Aquarius. And then you've got Mercury and Pluto at 1 and 2 degrees of Aquarius. So, in terms of astrology jargon, these 4 planets in Aquarius, this is what is known as a stellium. So, we are experiencing intense Aquarius energy right now, given that we've got 4 planets in the sign of Aquarius this week. Okay. So, I'm not going to say too much on the new moon in Aquarius because you can definitely watch the video about it. But what I will say, like I said before, if you're looking to make a change, and when I say change, I'm not talking about, oh, this would be nice. I'm talking about a complete overhaul of your life, basically. That is the essence of the energy of this new moon. If you're looking to do that, then this is the time that you're going to want to plant those seeds, especially because this new moon is going to be conjunct Pluto. Pluto having just entered Aquarius. Pluto is the great decimator. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It's transformation in its purest essence. So again, look at where Aquarius is in your chart. This can let you know what area of life you can make these changes. Or, like I said, if you have an area of life, any area of life where you've been stuck and stagnant, this is going to be the time to make those changes. Okay. And then Mercury conjunct Pluto, it sort of reinforces much of what I said before, but definitely reinforces the fact that you can change your mindset in a major way. And when I say major, the thing that's coming to mind right now is like going from Republican to Democrat, that kind of thing, right? Like a complete decimation of what you once knew and an adoption of something that is completely new, right? So understanding that everything begins in the mind. And to have something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. And all of that begins in the mind. So between now and Wednesday, right? Because remember I said on Tuesday, the moon will move into Aquarius and be in that dark moon, that balsamic phase, right? Clean up your dusty ass thoughts. Like, I implore you, specifically on Tuesday night, I think that it would serve you to journal and sort of to think about the things that you want. And then examine how you feel and the first thoughts that come up when you think about the things that you want. For instance, let's say that you're looking to get married and you're like, oh, I would love to be a wife, or I'd love to be a husband. But then you've got that little voice that says, but nobody wants you. Nobody would marry you. Like, those are dusty ass thoughts. You need to examine those, examine where they come from, and then just make a switch. That's the beauty of Aquarius energy, especially Aquarius as expressed, or I should say Uranus as expressed by Aquarius. You can literally change. It's like flip-flopping. It's like flipping a switch on and off. That is how change is affected with Uranus. It doesn't have to be this, oh, I've got to do, in order to solidify any new thoughts and solidify any new narrative that you tell yourself, of course, there's a need for repetition, right? So whether you listen to subliminals or whether you do affirmations, whatever it is, there's going to be a need for repetition so that this new thought can take hold. But it's really not as arduous as people make it seem. You just change your mind. I'm lovable. Anybody would be lucky and privileged to marry me. And then act like that. But making that switch can literally be like switching a light switch on and off. And so Tuesday night, you might want to examine some of these dusty ass thoughts that maybe you're still holding on to that are not serving you, and banish them. One of the things that I like to do, I'm a candle magic girly, right? So I would suggest for anyone who may be into candle magic or just looking for a ritual to accompany perhaps journaling or scripting, I would definitely say on Tuesday evening, you're going to want to write down all of your dusty ass thoughts. The old narratives, that haven't served you, that haven't gotten you what you want, you're going to want to write them down on a piece of paper. You're going to want to fold the paper and put the paper on a flat surface, right? And then put a black candle on top of it and burn the black candle. Okay. Black candles are great for banishing. And if you want to banish these negative thoughts, these dusty ass thoughts, I think that Tuesday night would be perfect for that. So, just a thought, just my opinion, just a recommendation. But I think it would be great for that, so that when you enter the energy of this new moon in Aquarius, it's like, you've got fertile soil to plant these new seeds and these new narratives. Okay. And then again, Mercury conjunct Pluto, this is really changing your mind. This is putting an end and a permanent end to narratives that no longer serve you. So use it as such. All right. So that's Wednesday. Going to Thursday. So on Thursday, we've got the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, going direct in Taurus. Then we've got the sun trine Jupiter. Then we have the waxing crescent moon in Pisces. All right. Let's see what this looks like on the chart. All right, so at the upper right-hand corner, you will see, what do we have here? Did I? Okay. I see what I did. Okay. So you will see at the upper left-hand portion of the chart, Uranus is at 23 degrees of Taurus, and it will be going direct on Thursday. Then you will see to the left of Uranus, you'll see Jupiter at 11 degrees of Gemini. And in the other red circle, you'll see the sun at 11 degrees of Aquarius. And then we've got the moon at 0 degrees of Pisces. All right. So Uranus going direct. Uranus has been retrograde in Taurus for a couple of months. Okay. And this is nothing out of the ordinary. Uranus spends a couple of months every year in retrograde. Okay. And so the one thing that's interesting about Uranus retrograde is that when Uranus is retrograde, things kind of calm down a little bit. If Uranus is the planet of surprises and sudden changes, when it's retrograde, that energy is slowed down, it's muted. But now that Uranus is about to go direct, especially in a sign like Taurus, it's back to this energy of like a raging bull in a china shop, okay? Just disrupting shit, chaos, just the way the universe likes it. Okay. And you might be thinking, wow, like the last, I don't know, couple of months have been kind of a shit show here. Yeah. And Uranus has been retrograde during that time. It's not, well, things might get a little crazier. Not even gonna lie to you, but Uranus direct is gonna bring even more chaos. But it's not just chaos for no reason. Taurus is a fixed sign. And Taurus is all about your comfort zone. Taurus wants to be comfortable and cozy and stay where it is and be grounded. Uranus and Taurus has been shaking you out of your comfort zone since 2018, as a matter of fact. And it's I believe that this was the last Uranus retrograde that we will be experiencing in Taurus. Because later on this year, Uranus is actually going to be changing signs. But either way, Uranus direct in Taurus, it's like the universe is going to drag you out of your comfort zone because you probably wouldn't moved otherwise. And that's a good thing, right? Change is the only constant. And a lot of times we're very hesitant to make change, or we're scared to make change. But the universe knows exactly what kind of change we need. And with Uranus direct in Taurus, that's exactly what's going to happen. All right. So prepare to be snatched by your edges in the best way possible. Okay. Then I feel like we have the most positive transit happening on Thursday, at least for the week, is the sun trine Jupiter. Okay. Now, the sun is in Aquarius, Jupiter is in Gemini. So there's this very mental and communicative energy surrounding this transit. So essentially, it's like being able to express yourself clearly, express yourself confidently, express yourself abundantly. There's this energy of abundant, particularly as it relates to your words, your communication, and even your thoughts. Okay. The beautiful, positive transit. So if you have like any conversations to have, if you need to do any presentations, if you need to even persuade anyone of anything, I feel like Thursday would be the day to do it. The only caveat I have with this particular transit is anytime you involve Jupiter, it leads to excess. And with the Sun trine Jupiter, this could really have people in their egos in the sense that people may overpromise and underdeliver, over exaggerate. It's giving like toxic positivity. Okay. So that's definitely something to be mindful of. Not to say that if something sounds too good to be true, it is, but just be a little grounded and understand that maybe people are overinflating or overcompensating for something in the way that they communicate with you. Okay. So that's the only caveat. But otherwise, that is a very beautifully positive transit. And then we have the moon in Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Well, one of the rulers of Pisces is Jupiter. So there's going to be this sort of grandiose or even this fantastical, this very optimistic kind of energy on Thursday. But be mindful that it could be slightly deceptive. Again, there's that energy of over promising and under delivering or over exaggerating things. So things may not be what they seem. It's best to, as good as something may sound, as lucrative as something may sound, as perfect and as positive as something may sound, it may be conveyed that way in the moment, but the reality of it may be different going forward. So take sort of whatever you're hearing with a grain of salt and double check your sources. Double check, triple check. Like you definitely want to make sure that whatever this person is saying is actually true or they can actually do this thing, right? So have caution, especially if you're conducting business, especially if you need to sign a contract or do any serious kind of work. What sounds great in the moment may not be great for you later on. So keep that in mind. All right. So that is Thursday. Now we move on to Saturday. And speaking of grandiose, we've got Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces and the waxing crescent moon in Aries. All right, so let's see what this looks like on the chart. Okay, so we've got in the circle, we've got Venus at 29 degrees of, is that 28 or 29? I think that is 28. That's 28 degrees of Pisces. We also have the North Node there, and we have Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces. And then you'll also see the moon is at 0 degrees of Aries. All right. So, what I like, sorry, my leg is itching. What I like about this particular transit, especially because, as you could see, the North Node is smack dab in between Venus and Neptune. So it's like getting a glimpse of the bigger picture. Venus and Neptune, it's like it evokes that image of Venus de Milo, right? Coming out of the sea on that seashell, looking absolutely beautiful. I mean, if her aesthetic is beautiful to you. Etheric, otherworldly, right? This transit is very much about dreams coming true, right? Especially when it comes to things like relationships and money. You're going to have a glimpse of perhaps what you need as it relates to this bigger picture, this bigger goal, this bigger dream, or who you need. You know what I love the most about this particular transit? It's giving very like, I met my soulmate. Or I was at the grocery store and I bumped into this guy and we're getting married tomorrow. Like it's giving cheesy romance novel. It's giving all of that, right? And as much as we may chastise that, there is a place for that. You know, the other day I was having a conversation with someone and I was talking about how, I don't know about you, but lately my like YouTube feed, it's been a lot of like a lot of like TikTok compilation videos about horror stories involving men or gold digging women or scandals when it comes to a particular podcast and men doing this and women doing that. It's like this gender war thing is being pushed very, very heavily. And it has a lot of people in their feelings. It has a lot of people jaded, has a lot of people sick and tired, right? I'm talking about how this new moon in Aquarius is like if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, especially when it comes to relationships, this is the new moon where you can actually change that. But I say that to say that people are so divided when it comes to the opposite sex. And, Venus conjunct Neptune, it's that little part of you, at least right now, that little part of you, that little glimmer of hope that you can have a beautiful relationship, that you can have the relationship of your dreams, that you can be fulfilled relationship wise, right? We need that. It's not to say that you need to be blind and ignore the red flags and be, no boundaries and just all of that, but have hope. Have at least a little bit of optimism, right? I think that Venus conjunct Neptune will remind you of that. But not just that, like I said, because the North Node is there, again, this could be like, oh, this is my soulmate. And understand, it's not always in the romantic sense. Soulmate could be a friend, it could be a coworker, it could be a boss, a neighbor, it could be anybody, right? But having I want to say consciousness, right? Like the North Node is your destiny with Venus conjunct Neptune. It's sort of being aware of where you're going, but it's not an awareness that's mental. It's not that kind of consciousness. It's a feeling. So it's like, although your logical mind may be like, there's no way that this person can be my soulmate. There's no way that this person can be my, dare I say it, twin flame. Another story for another day. But your logical mind may be like, yeah, all men are horrible. Everyone's on some bullshit. Like that's what your logical mind may say. But the awareness, the consciousness is going to come from your heart. It's going to come from your emotions. Your mind may be telling you, oh my gosh, this man is a creep. Why does he keep following me in the grocery store, in the supermarket? But your intuition and your heart is like, give this guy a chance. He might be your soulmate. Now, please, I say this with the disclaimer. Don't get yourself in some bullshit. Don't get yourself into a crazy situation because your heart is telling you this is your soulmate. The only thing I'm trying to say is that the awareness of this destiny will be felt, not thought. So be mindful. Take your common sense with you, but be optimistic. Love does exist. There are people who are in good relationships. There are people who are fulfilled, right? And for some of you, this may not even have to do with relationships. This could have to do with money. Venus is the planet of finances, of money. This could be a glimpse of your dream job, your dream career, your dream business, your dream collaboration. Meanwhile, your mind might be saying, oh, this person is a scammer. I mean, if they're really a scammer, you know what to do. Don't engage with them. But your mind may be psyching you out. Meanwhile, your emotions are saying something else. That's how this consciousness is going to come about. So be optimistic and get comfortable with how you feel. And it is more than okay to follow your heart. I feel like this Venus conjunct Neptune will require that of you. And then you couple that with the waxing crescent moon in Aries. So not only are you feeling like, ooh, this could be my soulmate, a waxing crescent moon in Aries is going to want to have you jumping on him. In the sense, well, sexually, I'm not even going to lie, sexually, but in the sense that you feel motivated to pursue this thing. So your heart is saying yes. And then your impulses are saying, all right, let's go. So I implore you, especially over the weekend, you're going to want to pay attention to this specifically on Saturday, but this could be in the days leading up to or even after Saturday. If you're feeling something, if you are like, this might be it, this could be the job. Maybe I should send my resume. Or, all right, I see a glimpse of something, and yeah, it is telling me to start my own business. It is telling me to, do whatever. You might want to entertain it. That moon in Aries is going to have you motivated. It's going to have you feeling very driven, perhaps to achieve this thing or go after this goal. And it's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out at once. But if your instincts, your impulses, and your emotions are kind of telling you one thing or driving you in a particular direction, you should go. There's no harm in that. And that's how we end the week. All right, my love. So that concludes this edition of the weekly Astro forecast. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going into this week. All right, definitely check out my video on the new moon in Aquarius if you haven't already. It tells you everything that you need to know for this new moon. Sign up for Cosmic Collective. Sign up for my workshop, The Cosmic Key. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys for this week. All right, my loves. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for this week and beyond. I'll see you same time, same place next week. All right, my loves. Take care.